Hey guys, it's RockWarrior97. I'm finally back after almost a month. I know I've been kinda lazy, but I've also been pretty busy. Well, you wanted it, and here it is. The top 5 best damn bassists of all time. Coming in at number 5 is Gene Simmons of Kiss. He's an asshole in real life, but he is a pretty good bassist, although a lot of the other members of Kiss, most notably the original drummer Peter Criss, he said that he's actually better on the traditional guitar than on the bass, and he didn't play bass on actually most of the songs in the studio. Usually when he plays bass on a Kiss song, it's actually just for the live performance. Really, there's no really definitive song that he did, but Detroit Rock City has a pretty good bass line. I recommend you check that out to find out his bass skill. And, okay, coming in at number 4, Y2J Rules 95 really requested this one. Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses, 4th best bassist of all time. The definitive songs that he did with Guns N' Roses were So Fine and the Johnny Thunders cover, You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. Both songs, So Fine was written entirely by him and was dedicated to Johnny Thunders. It shows you the kind of punk rock fan Duff McKagan is. He was also the last original member of Guns N' Roses to leave. He left about in 1998, I think, when Axl Rose told him to focus entirely on Guns N' Roses, because at the time he had a side project called Duff McKagan's Loaded. They released, I think, 2 albums, and I think that was it. They disbanded because he was going to join Velvet Revolver, which was pretty much most of all the other members of Guns N' Roses that Axl fired, with the exception of Steve Adler and Izzy Stradlin. They didn't hire Adler because he's still going through drug problems, although I think he just finally overcame them for good. At least I hope he did. And Izzy's pretty much been doing his own thing lately, so... And when they interviewed Axl if he was ever going to reunite with Guns N' Roses, any of the old Guns N' Roses members, he didn't comment on Steven, but he did say he wouldn't mind doing at least like one thing with Duff or Izzy. However, about Slash, he says, well, one of us is going to die before we ever reunite. He said whenever we tried to reunite, it was always I say something, he says something else, or the other way around. He says it's never ever going to happen. So, sorry old GNR fans, I'm one too, but it ain't going to happen. Though I must admit, Chinese Democracy was pretty good. Well, anyway, number 3 on the best bassists of all time goes to Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. He was also pretty much the lead songwriter for the band, and let's just say he really started taking control of them the late 70s and early 80s, and that was kind of like the primary cause for their brief hiatus in the 80s, because he was putting so much creative restriction on the band, because he wanted to do everything, and change their music from like real space rock, progressive rock, to all this like political stuff. Truthfully, I'm not much of a fan of him solo, but like I said, he was great with Pink Floyd. Essential listening for him goes to Careful with That Axe, Eugene. I strongly recommend the live version from Live at Pompeii. That version just blows you away with its ominous bass line, and he always has this really weird scream that's really hard to do. But it's just a really good song, and he's a great bassist and all, and a great songwriter. Number 2 for the best bassists of all time goes to Sir Paul McCartney, formerly of the Beatles and Wings. He has got to be one of the most successful solo artists ever, and along with the band, of course, the Beatles, the big selling band of all time, and Wings sold pretty good amount of copies too. He never really did any noticeable bass skill, but like I said, he was such a damn good songwriter and singer. He had to be number 2. However, since this is about bassists and not songwriting skills, I did not place him at number 1. That honor goes to the only deceased member on the list, at least as of February 21st, 2009, Cliff Burton of Metallica. This guy was freaking awesome. I mean, just buy a copy of Metallica's debut album, Kill 'Em All, and play the track 5, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth. He wrote that entire bass solo himself and did it in one freaking take. That is insane. That's like gotta take a lot of skill. Oh man, I would post it, but WMG Warner Music Group has had a falling out with YouTube, and they're hunting people's asses down. And I already got like 2 of my videos removed. I posted an AC/DC song and Sonic the Hedgehog, that Metallica song there, and that got taken off. So I'm getting kind of close to getting kicked off of YouTube. So yeah, I don't want to take the risk. Yeah, I know, copyright claiming sucks. He had a really brief history with Metallica. He was only with them for about 6 years, maybe 4 or 6 years. When he in late 1986 or early 1987, I'm not sure which, they were touring Sweden for their most recent album, Master of Puppets. When out of nowhere, the driver, who supposedly was drunk, although it's never been proven, and the roads were really icy. And so, like I said, the driver was supposedly drunk, and their tour bus flipped over. He went flying out the window, and the thing ended up crushing him. And even worse, if that didn't kill him, when they were using the cranes to lift the bus off him, the wires that the cranes had snapped, and the bus landed on him again. So if it didn't kill him the first time, it definitely did the second time. For the 20th anniversary of his death, they had a gravestone where the site where he died as a tribute to him. The band replaced him with Jason Newsted, and they wrote an instrumental tribute to him called "To Live Is to Die," which is one of the longest songs they've ever done. It also features a spoken word passage that Cliff wrote just prior to his death. And here's some interesting little fun facts about what happened the night he died. You see, he and the band of Metallica were playing a card game to see who would get the first pick to the bunks. And Cliff won the card game by drawing the Ace of Spades, aka the Dead Man's card. So that's a pretty bad omen right there. Although he was into the writings of H.P. Lovecraft and some other horror artist I can't think of right now. And so anyway, he chose the top bunk, which is where lead singer James Hetfield usually slept. And you know what? The rest they say is history. It's sad that he died so young, because he was, the band Metallica said he was a really great guy to be around with, and they all miss him to this day. As a matter of fact, I saw a video when they were getting inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or check that, announced as one of the inductees to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Someone asked them, if Cliff were alive today, what do you think he'd be? They said, we'd think he'd be happy, but he was a big Stooges fan, and the Stooges were up for induction again this year, and they didn't get chosen. So they say he kind of had mixed feelings about today. So yeah, that's it. Those are my top 5 best they're my top 5 best bassists. I know the video is kind of short. Finally got off my lazy ass to do it, so I will be doing a WrestleMania 25 review. I will. And I will also eventually be doing a best guitarists of all time. This one will not be easy though. And that's pretty much all for today, guys. I'll see you later, and let me know what you think. Please rate and comment, and subscribe. See you guys.